Marco is here. All right, so I'm gonna be your art director for this month. So I hope you're gonna have a good time, right? So I received your Sync Sketch Play Blast. Now what I have to say is that you did post it on FSO, and that's good. But you also have to submit on the other place, and that's called Sync Sketch submission form. Because if you submit only on FSO as you did, I do not get notification of it, so I really am not aware that actually you did post. I have to actually look if Caitlin Hughes submitted or not. If you posted on the other place too, then there is a huge list of all students who are posting. So I just look for my students, and if you posted it, you're there in the list. So I don't have to go to look individually to look for you, right? So please, next time, post on both things. Posting here on FSO is more kind of like a backup if something happened on that submission form. If you're not familiar with it, I'm gonna send you email where to find it and how to do it. Basically, there is a form that you are supposed to fill up, and basically you submit Play Blast of your Maya file, and also Maya file by itself, because if there is something wrong with the movement or whatever, and I'm not really clear, because in Play Blast I just get a kind of flat image, so I can go actually in and I can look what's happening in 3D, right? Actually in Maya. Okay, so let's take a look at what we got here. We have some kind of dragon, right, who runs in and jumps, kicks, and goes back. Let's take a look. Boom. All right. So as idea, that's fine. I would just probably stress, some stuff. There are poses that's supposed to be pushed stronger, further. Some anticipations maybe a little bit stronger, and there's some stuff maybe with some steps when he or she, I don't know, is it she or he, when he is going, I don't know, should I? Okay, I'm gonna say she. So when she goes back and when she settles for the last pose. All right, so let's start from beginning, right? What we have. I noticed one thing that when I'm looking at this character, that actually there is not much of the movement in the spine, right? The spine is always kind of up, vertical, and that gives a little bit of stiffy feeling. It doesn't feel like there is a flexibility in that spine. So I'm not really familiar with this rig, right? But if it's possible, then it would be really good actually to use those controls that probably are there. Now I know that there might be actually a problem with simply with the construction, because this goes down, protrudes back the tail, and I don't know how that really works, because like I said, I'm not familiar with this rig. But if it's possible, I think it would be nice to explore possibility of the hips here, right, and getting maybe a little bit different posture with the controllers on the spine. Now, I'm not saying that actually this pose is supposed to be like that. I'm just explaining how actually you can maybe maneuver those controllers to get more flexibility. Now, this pose by itself might be actually okay. So let's go from beginning. Alright, so we have a character standing here and ready to go. So anticipation, I guess, kind of like going down before moving forward. So this is down pose. Down pose. Alright. Now what I'm missing here from down pose to the new contact, it's few poses, but this is blocking, so I assume you're gonna put it in. We have a register for this foot, so it's gonna be this pose here, so that's fine. Maybe this one as a contact, I assume it's a contact, so maybe it can be just a little bit higher, so that actually we can see visibly that when this foot goes down, actually I'm not sure, is this foot down or not? Or if it's in the air. If it's in the air, then it's fine. If it's on the ground, then I guess it cannot be, because I assume this is on the ground. Yeah, sorry. So this one is on the ground with a heel, and that's why I would actually rotate a little bit higher, so that we can see visibly, boom, going down. So if we have this angle of the character coming in, I assume it's supposed to be a little bit faster speed, right? Goes down. Well, in order to get up, I would definitely here go even more down. I would make bigger squash out of this pose, so the character would go down, and so this head would be probably somewhere here. So that much I would push it more down, because for this kind of jump up we need a nice anticipation. And if you have any kind of reference as a live action reference, it doesn't matter if you were maybe looking at some movie, or maybe even shooting yourself, you have to always push those poses that are in reference. You cannot just copy live action reference for animation, because it's never enough. It always looks kind of flat. It works for live action, but when you translate to animation, it's always kind of flat. It just doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel enough. So that's why we are pushing the poses. And well, one of the 12 principles of animation is basically exaggeration. So we have to exaggerate the poses. All right, so from here we go up. All right, so the pose might be fine, but the problem that I have is the character is coming from here, right? So as the character is coming here, goes down in that anticipation, and then jumps. It's almost impossible, and you should try. If you don't believe me, you should try. As you run in and you squash and then you jump, it's impossible to jump upward. It will always be jump like that, in an angle, because there is a force that is coming from this side. So when you jump up, it goes like that, and then after the kick, that kick still has to go that, like after kick, right? The body will go down. So you see that wave? That will be natural wave of this action. So it's impossible to come in, jump up, kick, and then even as I think you have a go a little bit back. So once again, as the character is coming in, nice squash needed here, and then this probably would be better pushed a little bit forward, and then this definite. You see how this one goes just straight up? Well, I you know, that's really hard, and it would look more natural if you push this pose more forward to get this arc. So this one's squash, this one a little bit, I think, forward, so the leg will be connected here. Then definitely this one will be moved all the way here. Again, you see, if the character was running and jumping, I think definitely from here the character would go a little bit, you know, forward. It wouldn't go just down. So all this, what is happening here, would actually happen probably somewhere here. You know, as the character ran, anticipation, jump, and then down, right? That's what I think would happen. Otherwise, what you have is just this action. All right. Is it possible for this leg to be more tucked in? I'm not sure if that foot, should that foot be maybe like this? And maybe this one like that. Just visually seems to me better. As you notice, the character now goes back, what is really physically almost impossible unless this character actually kicked somebody. Some monster is here. Well, so if this character hits this guy or monster, whatever it is, and this is like a huge mass, right? So he did hit him, but still he kind of bounces off a bit. So in that case, this would be okay, this going back. But in that case, as the force is coming now this way, this leg would have to be thrown back to protect this person not to fall on the back. You cannot go, you know, first you were going this way, now it's coming back, and then you have this, so it's kind of like zigzagging too much. So I guess after this kick, right, this would go a little bit further, and then when this one would happen somewhere here. Like that. Of course, in this case, if you follow me, my suggestions, then that means that you might have to do an additional step. Well, actually, I think you need it on first place anyhow, and I'll explain what I meant. So if your character lands here, then this foot will be. You have also slide here. Try not to slide front ball of the foot. Like in this case, it's really good. You see, it's very sturdy. That's good. No sliding. That's good. Here is a slide, and it feels like he's on ice or something. But anyhow, if he lands here, of course, then this will be placed here. So you can actually select whole character and move it in a space on the new placement where you when you're gonna be having this one, right? Now, anticipation for jumping back would be like I mentioned, it's very stiff in his posture. So I mean, she's stiff. So maybe you can, do something a little bit more like something more, physically a little bit more interesting. And maybe also a little bit more go down in squash. A little bit more dynamic, right? So I would push it down, and then I would maybe jump. What you're missing here is a pose where actually she is pushing herself. So the foot here is fine, but on this one maybe the foot should be still on this place. While this one, you see, I'm playing with the controllers on the back, trying to get flexibility in the character. So you can see here she's still pushing herself with the foot, right? This one is off the ground. After that, it can get maybe something like that, but it would be already somewhere here, right? Looking hips are here, and then next to it here. Maybe if she is pushing herself with this foot, right? So this one is already ahead, it's already up. So maybe here that foot is going back, and maybe that foot, the right one, the right leg, is the one that she might be landing on. and this left one is still up. Something like that. So I think this would come down here. So if it lands on the right one, this left is on the way to go back. Okay, so that you're done here. But I think that, like I said, if the left one is on the way, then the left one would finally be placed here, and so this pose would be somewhere like this. But I hope you understood me, because once again, what's happening now is that this foot is in the air. She jumps, lands here, and then there is still that force, the inertia that is coming this way. And I think that that would push the body even further this way. And even if you keep as you have, I think this foot shouldn't land here. Probably it would be better if you land here, this foot goes back, and then body goes more back, and then this foot steps another one to get in this pose that you actually have. So it would take a little bit more of those smaller steps, and those smaller steps actually are actually very giving that natural look. You know, if you just kind of land with on perfect, already determined place, it looks very planned. It looks, you know, because when we are jumping, we don't plan that. You know, you jump, and if you have to do another step or two steps, you do it just to keep the balance, not to fall, right? That's the main thing. Usually young animators have a problem with they're kind of like afraid of actually making those steps, and that's visible because if you don't have them, it just doesn't look natural. So let me go. I think I forgot one thing to say. The character is. Let's take where the character is looking. Is there some spot where actually while she's doing that you know, she should be focusing on that? If we say this is the spot, then most of the time that character has to have that look directed towards that place, right? As the target. So if she's fighting with somebody, she is moving her body in all kinds of directions, but her view, I mean, she's looking at the threat, right? At the target. She does not want to take a look away because she might be surprised because the opponent might do something that she won't be aware of if she doesn't see it. So focus, right, on the place where she's gonna go and kick. Right, this is good, right? And then we go here, but then here almost looks like she is looking up. You see, this is looking up. It doesn't look like somebody's here. It should be looking more this way. So a little bit more, like I said, squash on the leg, right? So that this kick is gonna feel stronger. And first, when it kicks, you can actually stretch that leg even further if you can, and then like 2 frames later, you put it to the normal length while she's gonna go down. This feels very mechanical. But we went over that, right? Okay, so this is it. I think I have nothing else to say. For blocking, it looks fine. It's good material. Of course, you have to go in now and dig and fix and all that stuff. What actually is gonna make a scene nice at the end. But it's a good start. So, all right. Talk to you soon. Bye bye, Kathleen.